Hello guys, and welcome back to another video in which today I'll be showing you a brand new 1.13 mob I created with functions and the resource pack. For information on how to install this creation in your own world, skip to the timestamp that you see on screen now. But I'm sure you also want to know what this new mob is all about. So let's start by spawning it in. Place a diamond block on the ground and surround it with 4 pieces of obsidian. Now drop 64 rotten flesh, 1 nether star and 1 ender eye into the middle and light all the obsidian blocks on fire. Once you do all that, a massive cyclops will spawn where you built the structure. The cyclops will start running toward you, and after warming up for about 7 seconds, he will try to kill you with 4 different attacks. Let's go over them one by one. The most basic attack of them all makes the cyclops jump into the air, causing a shockwave as he lands. If you are in a 7 block radius of him, you will take damage, so make sure you keep your distance. My system only triggers the different attacks at the most effective ranges, so if you want to avoid the attack, just stay away and he's not gonna jump, as it wouldn't affect you anyways. Now that we covered the close range attack, let's see how the cyclops attacks you at a medium distance. Every so often his eye will start to turn red and the laser locks onto you. Once that happens, you have about 3 seconds to find cover. After that time is up, the laser will be fired and deal severe damage if you are hit. The good thing is that the laser is stopped by blocks, so if you hide behind a wall for example, nothing can happen to you. Next off, there is a ground slam. The cyclops bends down and hits the ground with all his force, causing a shockwave to travel into the direction he's looking in. If you are hit by that shockwave, you are launched into the air and take winter damage for a few seconds. This attack has a very long range, but the further away you are, the more time you have to dodge, so it's not too overpowered. And last but not least, he can rip stones out of the ground and make them rain down on you. To warn and prepare you for the incoming attack, the stones rotate around him for a short time and are then launched into the sky. As they come down and hit the ground, a huge explosion will appear and damage you if you're too close. It is possible, but very hard to dodge all of them. So I would advise to just take 1 or 2 hits in order to dodge the rest. That way you avoid dying, and with the absolutely ridiculous regeneration, you're soon back to full health anyways. The attacks are completely randomized. Like I said though, only the distance between you and the cyclops affects what he uses to fight. But one question remains: how on earth do you kill it? Well, his skin is super thick and can't be penetrated by anything. There is one spot however where he is vulnerable. You might have guessed it, it's the eye. It doesn't matter how you damage it, but a bow and arrow will be your best choice. His health is displayed via the boss bar on top of your screen, and it takes a total of 50 hits to finally defeat him. This might seem easy, but keep in mind that you have to deal with his attacks while you're trying to hit the eye. If you do land a shot, he will blink and grunt, and his health will go down. Once you kill the cyclops, he drops a lot of experience, which you can then use to enchant stuff for days. Most importantly however, he drops a cyclops item which you can then use as a weapon. Select it and hold right click to charge up your laser. The smoke lines indicate your currently selected path. Keep in mind that just like the cyclops attack, the laser will not go through blocks. If you now let go of right click, a laser beam will be shot and kill almost all the mobs in its path. I'll admit this is a little bit overpowered, but I mean it does come with a price. First you need to sacrifice a diamond, another star and other resources, then you have to go through the tough fight. So after all that, I think you earn to have a little bit of fun with this awesome weapon. If all this sounds interesting to you and you want to try it out for yourself, here's a quick installation guide before I show you how I made some of these mechanics. Go to my website and download the zip file you'll find there. Unpack it, and inside you will find a resource pack and a folder called CYCLOPS. Open your .minecraft folder by pressing the Windows key and R and type %appdata%. Now go into the resource packs folder and paste the CYCLOPS pack file into there. Next go to your saves, open data packs and copy and paste the CYCLOPS folder in there. Congratulations, you're almost done. Finally open your world, type /reload in chat and activate the resource pack. Keep in mind that I made this creation in a snapshot, so please use the one I specify on the download page. Otherwise, I can't guarantee that everything works. For everyone interested in the technical side of Minecraft, here's a quick overview of how I made some of these features. The body consists of 7 armor stands. One of them simply acts as the core, and all the other armor stands are teleported relative to that one. If we look at the whole thing without resource pack, this should become very obvious. A zombie pigman acts as my AI and follows the player in a 50 block radius. Whenever he is moving, the head start rotations of arms and legs start to change. I created a system that kinda interpolates between the standing and walking animation in order to make it smooth, because I didn't wanna have teleporting limbs or something. The arms and head are actually teleported relative to the body. That way, even if the chest rotates, the rest of the upper body will still be at the correct position. At the head I also placed a zombie, which I simply use to detect damage. The jump and ground pound are not really worth explaining, I feel like, so I am gonna focus on the laser and meteor rain. For the laser, I summon an area effect cloud at the position of the head. I then teleported the area effect cloud so it faces the closest player and move it 1 block forward. In the function which executes this command, I call the same function again recursively and teleport the area effect cloud forward until it reaches a maximum distance of 40 blocks. Using this command, I can easily detect a collision and kill the laser before it passes through any blocks. After 3 seconds, I just test if the player is anywhere near the beam and damage him if he is. The stone attack is actually pretty simple as well. I summon an armor stand that represents the center, and 1 more armor stand for each stone. The middle armor stand is now rotated and the stones are teleported from it with local coordinates, which makes them rotate around the Cyclops. There is a scoreboard timer, depending on which I also rotate the arms and launch the stones into the air. As you can see, tons of basic techniques combined can create something quite cool. If you're interested in detail, feel free to look into the function pack. I labeled everything, so if you have some command knowledge, you can easily find out all of my secrets. When I first started working on this creation, I planned to make a much more complicated rig for the character. I ended up just trashing it because there were way too many problems, but I'd still like to show you. I tweeted this walk cycle animation as a GIF on Twitter, in case you saw it and were wondering how it works. Here's a quick explanation. For every bone there are 3 armor stands. The first one visually represents it. The second one indicates the direction that the bone should look in. And the third one marks the goal of the next keyframe. So if I want to move the thigh upwards, I teleport the goal armor stand to the position it should face, and the lead armor stand is then gradually teleported to the goal one, and the thigh is just teleported to face the lead. That way I can smoothly transition between 2 keyframes without having to do any scoreboard stuff. At the lower end of the thigh, I just teleport another bone and then repeat the same thing again. If I now teleport the goal armor stand to a different position at different times, I can make super smooth animations. Except they're not. The first problem I encountered was that the X rotation of the armor stand changes when you use the facing teleportation. So at 0 degrees, or when a bone is facing downwards, it flips 180 degrees. The movement becomes wonky, and if we later want to replace the red stick with a thigh block model, we have a problem. I actually managed to solve this problem with the help of Unaware, but everything was still kinda jittery. If we now try to play the animation at a different angle, everything seems to work fine. But if it's playing while rotating, well, things are getting a little crazy. I probably could have solved this somehow, but it wasn't worth it for me. While the system is pretty cool, it is way too glitchy and unreliable. So after having wasted like 5 hours on this, I decided to make the Cyclops much more simplistic, and I think it still turned out okay. I know this was a little bit more technical than usual. Just let me know if you want to see more behind the scenes stuff like this in the future. And that's gonna do it for today's video. If you have any more questions, feel free to leave a comment and let me know what you think about this creation. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, I'd be very happy about a positive rating. Oh, and the bell. YouTubers are supposed to say that, right? Do that bell thing, please. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in my next video.